Welcome back to the Barreto family. I am going to answer a few more of your questions. I have gotten so many more questions from you since I started putting out these Q&A videos. So if you guys have any more questions, put them down below and I'm going to try to get them answered within the next week or so. I know we are in the heart of packing season, and so I want to make sure to answer as many questions as I can. Please remember, as always, these are just opinions and my thoughts and ideas, but the best thing you can do to answer your questions and to pack your boxes is just to pray and see how God leads you. So take all these answers just with a grain of salt, but let's dive right in. This one's from Bruce Gordon, and it says, I've been sending a lot of crank solar radio, flashlight, USB charger combos, but I think it might be more influenced by growing up with no electricity and always trying to get ready and dressed in the dark for school. Is this even a wow or a useful item? I think it's definitely a wow item because it's not something that's common for them to see, and it is something that would draw more attention, more of their focus when they open the box. So I think it's definitely a wow item. It's something that is really cool and neat to have. Useful, probably more so in rural areas or areas where they might have blackouts. So there might be certain areas that it's not as useful, but I think it's definitely a fun and really cool item to send. So I think that would be a great item, especially for the older boys and girls, as more of a wow item to add. Absolutely. Still in the Heart Reborn Nurse asked, what about envelope paper and stamps? I would say no. And the reason is because you don't know where the boxes are going to go. And there's two issues. One, even if you send international stamps, if there's not a postal service where they get sent, those stamps are not useful. So for instance, I live in Bogota, Colombia, and we do not have a postal service. We have various entities like DHL, and there's one called Servientrega, but you can't use normal stamps at those places. You have to go and you have to pay the DHL fee. And let me tell you, the cost of mailing letters is astronomical. I tried to mail a standard, I'm at my desk right now, a standard letter this size to my mom. It's about, an 8 by 5 maybe? Tried to mail a letter like this to my mom for Mother's Day about 2 years ago, and it was going to cost $150 to mail a basic flat letter through, I think we were at Servientrega at that point. So one, because of the fact that they might not have access to some form of postal service, not super useful. Two, because of the stamp issues and not knowing what stamps they're going to need, not super useful. And the third would just be they might not know how to do that. The cost is just extreme. So I would say envelopes, stamps, paper, not super useful. If you want them to write to you or to get a better chance of them writing, put an email. Put a card with your email in it, because even in rural areas, most of them are going to have access to some form of phone, data, internet at some point during their week. Maybe it's not a regular thing. Maybe they don't have it at their house. But if they wanted to send a reply, the best way to get a reply would be through an email. So that would be way better than sending an envelope, paper, and stamps. Send a little picture of yourself, an email, a note. But I would say email is way better than snail mail. The next one was just a comment from Bernie, and just mentioned in one of my this or that videos for the 2 to 4 year olds, I recommended that you don't need to find the big thick crayons. You can just send regular sized crayons, the skinny regular crayons. And the reason was because I have a little girl, and honestly, she gravitates more towards using those than the big crayons. Plus they're going to 2 to 4 year olds, and the 4 year olds are going to be more inclined to use normal crayons. Normal crayons are the ones they would need if they were going to preschool. They don't need thick crayons. And so cost effective wise, it's just as great to send the little crayons as the big crayons. Megan asked, does anyone know if a Bluetooth karaoke mic with rechargeable USB would work in the box? I bought my gifts, but just now thinking to make sure that they will be able to use it because it needs to be plugged in to charge. Thanks in advance. The challenge with that is this requires them to have that little adapter piece for their country, which at this point, in most places that it goes, they probably will have one of these like USB adapter charger guys, but you can't send it with the mic because every country has a different outlet. So if it goes to Europe, they would need an adapter. If it goes to Africa, they would need an adapter. I mean, if it's on your heart to send it, you can. It's just going to be one of those things where it requires it not to be a super rural area because they're going to need electricity and they're going to need some form of, I think we call these charging bricks, some form of this part that goes to their wall sockets. So that's the only challenge. And you can't send that with you because every country in the world uses different wall socket ports. I don't even know I don't know the technical terms for that. But I'd say you can send it and hope that it gets into the hands of a kiddo that needs it. So I don't want to deter you. However, I would say it does add one level of difficulty. If it got to a big city like Colombia, for instance, most families probably have one of these little chargers, but you can't guarantee that it's going to get somewhere where they have access to the adapter piece that they need and to wall electricity to plug it in. So not wrong to send it, just maybe not in every box because it's not something that's going to be used by everywhere, if that makes sense. And that's something somebody actually responded. Emmy responded and said, since electricity is different around the world, I would choose something that did not require electricity. So it's not wrong to send it. It's just a hit or miss whether or not they're going to be able to make the most use of that microphone. It could end up getting into the hands of someone that absolutely needs one. So who knows? Aaron had a question. What age group are you needing more boxes for? And do you need more boy or girl boxes of that age group? So this is something where I've talked about it before. There's not really a generalized statistic that I can give you. I know that where we give out boxes, we always need more boy boxes just because we have more boys in the neighborhood. But that is not a worldwide standard. It just depends on where the boxes go and what that particular area needs. And I can't speak to that because I don't know the statistics. Someone did respond to them, so I will read their response because it's always interesting to see different thoughts and opinions. Anna responded and said, I'm in several OCC Facebook groups, and the statistics that she's seen, so the statistics, that word is so hard, the statistics I've seen there show that 10 to 14 boxes are needed the most. And overall, they need more boy boxes. In other words, OCC currently receives more girl boxes and more for the younger ages. So that's a great statistic that she had that I don't necessarily know of. But thank you both, Erin, for the question and Anna for your participation and thoughts as well. Let's do one or two more. This one is from Josie. She said, do kids like receiving clothing? Yes, especially, and it's so funny, especially if it has some form of words in English. They just think it's the coolest thing because it shows that it's foreign. And so they love getting something that is totally different, that their friends and family aren't necessarily going to have. And I don't think I've ever shared this on this channel, so I'll add this in there. Here in Colombia, the most common thing for Christmas is to get a new outfit. And the tradition is that here in Colombia, they celebrate Christmas the 24th at midnight. So the 24th at midnight, literally every teen, every child will put on their brand new outfit, and they then spend like 2 hours hanging out as a family, just enjoying the festivities in their brand new Christmas clothes. And so it is super common here to receive a new outfit for Christmas. And sometimes that might be the only gift they receive. Maybe it's not, maybe it is. But one of the most common gifts here is a brand new outfit that they can just sport and be excited about for Christmas Day. So clothes are great. If you do send clothes, are there better sizes to send than others in a box? For example, a box for 5 to 9, what side would you send? Or large says it's for 10 to 12, extra large 12 to 14. Does it matter if you send large versus extra large? Yes. I always say to err on the side of caution and send bigger rather than smaller. I'm going to talk just about, I don't have any older kids, so I don't know kids' sizes very well. But I am going to talk about my 3.5-year-old is currently in 5T clothes. So the box is for 2 to 4-year-olds. But if you send a 2T outfit, my 3.5-year-old can't use it. So she would be bummed to get clothes that look super cute and pretty and nice that she can't use. So I always say err on the side of caution, because it's better for us to save the clothes for a year or whatever it may take for the kid to grow and then still be able to use that outfit than for them to receive something that they've already grown out of before they ever get to put it on. And so I always say err on the side of caution. So I would say for the 2 to 4-year-olds, I would not send smaller than 5T. I would go even into extra small or small kid sizes, because again, they can tie it up with a scrunchie on the side if it's a girl. They could hem it if they need to. Let me tell you, I have seen that happen a lot, where they will roll it up and do just a loose hem so they can start using it, and then they'll cut those threads and put it out, like extend it a little bit so that they can keep using it. So it's better to have bigger than smaller. For the 5 to 9, again, I would say I would not send smaller than maybe a 10, 12, possibly even larger, because you're talking 5 to 9-year-olds, and that's such a wide age range. 10 to 14 is the same thing. We have 14-year-olds that are taller than I am. So if you send like adult small type clothes, they're at least not going to hopefully have grown out of them before they get them. I don't know if that makes sense. So it's just that's a generalization of sizes, but I would always say err on the side of caution and send bigger rather than smaller. I think this video is getting a little bit long, so we are going to pause it there. And I've got one question for the next video. I think I'm going to do the next video as a 1-question deal, because it is an intricate answer. But there's a few of your answers. Again, if you have any more comments or questions, put them down below. If you guys ever have a good response to questions, please comment, give them your ideas. I am so glad it's turning into more of a community and an opportunity. I love you guys, and I'm excited to see all of the excitement with box packing. I've been following your videos, and we are still waiting. It is currently November 3rd, and we are still waiting for official confirmation on whether or not we've been accepted. We have applied to do Operation Christmas Child shoeboxes, and so we'll see if we get accepted to the project, and I will, if so, I will walk you guys through the entire process, what we go through on this end, receiving, and all of the trainings and everything, and how OCC goes about it. But we love you guys, and we will see you on the next video.